All right, you guys, this week you're going to be doing music stations. You're going to have 5 or 6 stations, depending on how many music classes you have this week. We're going to start with Incredibox. That is station number 1. Some of you may start at a few other stations, but this is going to be labeled station number 1. At Incredibox, you get to become like your own DJ, and you can pick between Alpha, Little Miss, Sunrise, or The Love, because those top ones are the ones that are unlocked. You can choose between any of those 4, and you'll just click on it, or it's a touchscreen computer. You can touch it. I'm going to pick Little Miss today. It's going to open up, and it's going to load. So once Little Miss is done loading, you'll see that there's going to be a play button that pops up. Don't push the start button. You're going to push the play button. So now that I've pushed the play button, a guy is going to pop up, and it's our job to put his music shirt on him. And so you can click and drag different sounds, or you can touch the screen and drag them. But if you notice, when I'm dragging them, sometimes the fraction up here is starting to fill up. So we filled up 2 of them, but if I pull this one, I wonder if it's going to fill it up. Oh, it didn't give us a little mark for this one. So I'm going to erase that one because I'm trying to fill it up so it'll do something cool for us. Let me try another one. Watch this one. Ah, it added one. Okay, so now I figured out I need only 2 more to make a cool remix. Let me see if I can get this filled up. Oh, that one didn't work. Try another one. That one works. That means I'm only 1 away. And that worked. It gave us the green for go. So now I'm going to click on this green blinking button, and it's loading. And it's going to give us a cool little music video. It'll do this on any of those 4 that I told you can choose. And then it will stop. And you can go back. You can click the back button right here at the top left, the arrow, to exit out of it. And this is where you'll go at the end of your station to clean up for the next group and exit out of that one. And it'll also bring up the other ones that you can choose from. This is Incredibox, which will be station number 1. Now, moving on to station number 2, it's right here, and it's going to be Legos. At this station, you are allowed to build a music instrument. You can build a music instrument that has already been created, like an instrument or a piano or a guitar or something like that. Or you can get creative and build your own instrument that's never, ever, ever been invented. We have to share the Legos, and we have to double check around the room to make sure that all of the Legos get cleaned up. You're going to have some of these green boards that you can build on. Make sure you're sharing all of the Legos. This is station number 2, instrument Legos. At station number 3, it is Music Street Candyland. So in Music Street, it starts on Do, and it goes Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. And if you look, it matches this on here. So all of you will get a character. For right now, since I'm only demonstrating, I'm going to put Little Piggy, he's the one I've chosen for my character, down here at the start. He's ready to go. After I've put the piggy down, I'm going to come over here to my stack of cards, and I'm going to pick the first card on the top. It says move 1 yellow. After I've done that, I'm going to put it at the very, very bottom. This one should have been flipped over to where nobody could see it. So make sure that you clean them up to all of them are facing down like that. And I'm going to move it to 1 yellow like it told me. After everybody in your group is gone, then you're going to continue moving and you'll get your turn again. You can rock, paper, scissors, but choose nicely who goes first. If one person goes first at one group, maybe let them go second the next time, but make sure that the same person isn't always going last at their station. That way it's totally fair. It needs to be cleaned up and perfectly in the box after we finish this station. All of them are stacked nicely for the next group. All of our characters are going to go back in the box, and it's going to be ready to go. This is station number 3, Solfege Candyland. If you only see me for 1 time this week, so that'll be tomorrow, Mr. Martinez's class, Miss Sims' class, and Miss Gunderman's class, you will not do this station. Only my kiddos that saw me on Wednesday before, okay? Now, moving over across the room, to a fan favorite. It is going to be rhythm basketball. So in basketball, you're going to get 2 free throw shots. 2. And you can either choose to go with a 1-pointer, which is a quarter note, because a quarter note in music gets 1 heartbeat. So it's going to get 1 point in basketball. You can choose a half note, because in music, a half note gets 2 heartbeats. Or, and that'll be 2 points, you can choose a dotted half note, which in music gets 3 heartbeats. So in basketball, it's going to get 3 points, or the big one, a whole note, which in music, a whole note is worth 4 heartbeats, and here it's going to be worth 4 points. I'm feeling pretty brave today, so I'm going to come stand behind the 4. I'm not going to stand on top of it. I'm going to stand right behind it. Okay, so now that I'm standing behind it, I'm feeling brave. I'm going to shoot my first shot. I didn't make it. That's totally okay. I'm going to try it again. And that time, I made it. So, I got 4 points because I was standing behind the 4-pointer. If you missed the first one and you decide maybe I want to go a little easier, you can always move up to 3, 2, or 1 to try it that way. The tiles that are down for the different points and beats in music line up perfectly with the tiles in Miss Willis's class. So after every station, you need to clean up and you need to make sure if there are tiles on the floor that they line up perfectly with these tiles and fit perfectly in the square. And they need to have 1 empty tile in between. All right, this is Rhythm Basketball Station number 4. And I will have all of these stations labeled for you. Next up is station number 5, Rhythm Bowling. Kind of like Rhythm Basketball, we've got the whole note again, which again will be worth 4 points. We've got half notes, which will be worth 2 points each. And we've got quarter notes, which will be worth 1 point each. The pink ones are the quarter notes, 1 point. The blue ones are the half note, 2 points. And the green one is a whole note, worth 4 points. If you knock all of these guys down, if you add it up, 4 pink ones, 1 point each, that's 4 points. And then 2 half notes at 2 points each, that brings your total now to 8. And then if you knock over the whole note too, adding 4 more points, you can get a possibility of 12 points in this game. So now, you're gonna come stand on the pink tile, make sure it's lined up nicely with here, with this tile on the floor. You're gonna stand where it says feet here. Again, you'll have 2 balls in this bucket that you can choose from. Okay, so you can pick up one first. You're gonna put your feet here, and you're gonna roll, not throw, roll, because in bowling, you roll it. You're going to roll it and try and knock over as many as you can. So I knocked them all over except for 1. So with this last turn, I'm going to grab my blue one, or my other one that's left over, and I'm gonna try and knock over this last one. Let's see if I can do it. I'm standing with my feet where it says feet here. And I got it. So I knocked all of them down. That means I got 12 points. Now, if you don't knock them all down, it'll be your job to make sure you count and you're keeping points to see. So, if you're looking at my room, this is where bowling is at. It's over there by the door. And if you look, the end of my starboard is what you're going to line up the bucket with and the feet here sign. So you've got a good distance. This middle black line, you've got a good distance of where it needs to go. And now, after I've done that, I'm gonna walk over here because the next person wants to have a nice setup station. I'm gonna go really slowly because sometimes they can be a little tricky getting them set back up. I'm gonna set my bowling pins back up with the pink in the back, my quarter notes, my blue in front of them, and then my green in the very front, my whole note. After those have been set back up, I'm going to get my bowling ball. Both of them. There's the blue one. And now I'm walking. I'm going to get the yellow one too. And I'm going to put it back in the yellow buckets. That way it's ready for the next person to go, or you'll hand off the ball to the next person that needs to go. This is station number 5, Rhythm Bowling. Now, for the very, very last station, it is Rhythm Toss Across. There's one tile that has a quarter note, and then there's another tile that has a quarter rest. I'm going to choose to stand on the quarter rest today. And they're in the middle of these, right on this middle black line, kind of lined up with the end of bowling. But it's still kind of lined up with these tiles. There should be 2 empty tiles in between. 1, 2, and then the toss across game. Right now, they're all flipped over to where you can't see anything, and that's how it needs to be when you start. Each of you are going to get the equal amount of bean bags. There should be 12 bean bags. I've counted them now. So there need to be 12 when you finish. And move on. You're going to grab some bean bags. You can grab 6 and 6. That's fine. If not, just grab enough to take your turns. And then I'm going to stand on my feet on this symbol. I'm trying to flip over this symbol, and the person across from me is going to be trying to flip over the quarter note or whatever symbol they're standing on. So I'm going to toss it because it's called toss across. I'm not going to fast pitch it. All right, and I'm standing 2 tiles in between. And I didn't flip over my own. I actually ended up flipping my opposing person's note. So now they've gotten a point because I flipped over the wrong one, but that's going to happen. I'm going to try again after they take their turn. So now we're going to pretend that person's gone. It's back to Miss Willis or whoever is taking their turn. And I flipped over another of my opposing person's turn. That might happen. Okay, so it's going back to them. It's come back to me. And the point is to get 3 in a row, either up and down, left and right, or diagonally. Now, I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to try and flip one of those over so maybe that person wouldn't win, because normally there'd be a person there playing. And they could possibly win because there's almost 3 in a row. So I'm going to try and stop them. But I didn't. I ended up flipping one over for them and helping them out. So they would have won because they got 3 in a row. I ended up not flipping any of my own. After that, I'm going to flip them all over again. After somebody wins, or it's time to switch stations, I'm going to clean up all of the bean bags. I'm going to put them in the little can. Make sure that the tiles are nice and straight and lined up in the middle of this black line, and also in line with this one. And this one's ready to go. And everything is ready to go for the next group. I'm going to make sure if I'm at Legos that I put the lid on Legos. That way they're ready to go. And all of them are picked up. All of Candyland looks nice and neat. Everything looks nice and neat. Make sure all the basketballs are put up after every single time you do a station rotation. And then if everything is cleaned up, whenever the timer goes off or your teacher tells you it's time to switch, you will switch to the next station, sticking with the people in your group. Try and remember who is in your group. Okay, there will be no student of the day this week because we're doing stations. All right, you guys, I will see you next week.